And to know more about what's happening in Tunisia, especially after the election, we are joined in the studio by Dr. Walaa Sherif, an assistant lecturer for political market. Hello, Dr. Walaa, and welcome to our show.
Thank you. Thank you.
How do you see now the situation in Tunisia, especially during the elections and after the election? Do you think that this political election were crucial at this time?
This is the first step to the democratic environment at Tunis, and the Tunisian people seek for that, to have political stability. At the first round, the results, there was difference 6% between Sipsi and Marzouki, and then in the second round too, the difference is not that large, as the president, the Sipsi, won elections by 55.6%, and that number indicates that the number of voters he has got the half, let's approximate it, half the number of Tunisian voters. And he took, in his words, he took in consideration the other Tunisian people who don't vote for him, their demands, to go on that democratic way. The Tunisian elections had a special coverage, as Tunis at the beginning has the first step in everything. The revolution at the beginning, and then the demands, and now the elections. And this is the first elections after the constitution of January 2014, and it's very important. If you would like to talk about the difference between both candidates and how Sipsi won the elections, the Sipsi got approvals from most ruling parties at Tunis, and from public figures, even actors, even sportsmen, and a lot of public known figures there. But Marzouki got, at the beginning, at the first round, he got the support from the Nahda party. But at the second round, the Nahda party announced that it will not, or it didn't say it in a clear way, but it said, don't vote for Marzouki, but be neutral. Mm-hmm. So it target its supporters for not voting for Marzouki, and the expectations...
And of course, they're not going to vote for Sipsi.
Yes, so they are not voting, unvoters. And that's the result of, in addition to the number of youth who didn't participate in elections, we have to take in consideration that the number of youth is also a large number. Maybe about 26 or 30% of the total number of voters, so it's a number that we should respect and take in consideration too. Once El Sipsi won the election, Marzouki came out and congratulated him for winning the elections and for being president for Tunis, and this is a very important step, because he said that if Sipsi won, there will be unclear results of the elections. So by that step, by congratulating him,
he's admitting that the elections are
fair
right.
enough. Yes.
Okay. Sipsi is from the secular Nida Tunis party, and he won about 50% of the presidential vote, and he is related to the old regime of Zain al-Abidin bin Ali. What does this mean to Tunisia now?
Okay. Sipsi, yes, from the old regime, under the regime of bin Ali. And he was ruling the parliament at time ago, but at the time, the transitional time, from starting after the revolution till elections, he worked on and seek for stability and the union of parties, and how to and made a lot of events and committees discussing how to have a stable environment, how to seek for security and to face terrorism there. On the other hand, Marzouki lost a number of people as he didn't solve many problems, but he made other or more problems there. In addition, he's a right activist, so it's his duty to solve those problems. So that situation made him lose a group of people to not to vote to him. On the other hand, Sipsi always speak to people to forget about the past time and let's work for the future and see and talk about investment and political stability and how to develop the country. He talked about projects. But I would like to mention a very important thing, that both Sipsi and Marzouki does not have a political program for their campaign. There's no written clear program for their political campaign for presidential elections. By that, why I'm talking about that, because the political program for elections, it's a written list of promises to the people that I will fulfill those and those points since I win the elections. So they are telling people it as words. Let's see the actions later on. Of course, there are great celebrations in the streets nowadays, celebrating that the Sipsi won elections. But
his
let's
supporters.
See, yes, and his supporters. But let's see actions fulfilling the words he said, regardless that he is from the old regime of Ben Ali.
Okay, if you talk about his age, he's a very old man. He's almost 88, and how do you see this as applicable as a politician, not as a normal politician? He's now a president ruling a country after a revolution and after a turmoil that happened since 2011 and during the period that the Islamist party was ruling the country then. How do you see this?
Okay. Regarding his age, this is called personal features of the candidate. It is not very important to focus on that personal features as long as that person is able to give and to fulfill and to control. Why people vote for Sipsi, not Marzouki? In addition, that Sipsi is 88 years old and Marzouki is 69. Yes, there's not a great difference in age between them, but Sipsi has got
a great difference.
88 and 69, almost 70 and 88. Yes, 80. But Sipsi has got charisma. Yeah, he has got a charisma, leadership skills. He was at the parliament, so that charisma is very important. Yes, Marzouki has achieved a lot in the human rights, and he got international prizes in that cases, but he lacked the charisma of the president. That's why at the beginning he was supported by Nahda party, but at the second round he doesn't get that support, as they don't see in him the charisma of the president.
Do you believe that choosing El-Biji Qa'id al-Sipsi is just a matter of a charisma? Because as I mentioned before that, why voters wanted to choose a man from the old regime, the Ben Ali regime, and why they didn't vote for Marzouki? Is because that he is supporting brotherhood, or what's the reason?
Okay. First of all, Marzouki was a member at the beginning, or supporting for Muslim Brotherhood and Nahda party, and nowadays in the Arab world all over, there's we fear anyone was supporting Muslim Brotherhood or a member at the previous to any kind of Islamic party, whatever the name is, to vote for him or to give him a trust. Because we have seen a lot Egypt. And when we talk about that, we have to link the Arab countries all together. Egypt, Libya, Syria, all are the same. We all are affected by the same issues, and even if our revolutions seek for the same or similar demands, that's why there is a great fear to vote for Marzouki, as he was supporter for Islamic groups or Muslim Brotherhood parties.